Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Learning Room. This is Lecture 19 of our crash course in Morphology. In this lecture, we will explore the morphological adaptation and morphological integration. These both concepts are closely related in morphology and language contact studies, especially when discussing loanwords, words borrowed from another language. However, they're not exactly the same. Let's first talk about morphological adaptation. Morphological adaptation refers to the adjustment made to a borrowed word so that it conforms to the morphological patterns and grammatical requirements of the recipient language. When words are taken from one language and adjusted to follow the grammar, phonology, and morphology of the language into which they are introduced, this attribute is called morphological adaptation. The borrowed form is adjusted or reshaped to fit the morphology of the borrowing language. The morphological adaptation focuses on how foreign words from other languages are adapted in terms of plural forms, tense markers, etc., so that they can be used according to the rules of the borrowing language. It is a structural aspect, not a process. So, the characteristics of this structural aspect are: it is adjustment of borrowed forms by modifying the shape or pronunciation of a loanword, adding native affixes, and assigning it to grammatical categories such as gender, number, or case. Let's take an example. The English word work is borrowed into Japanese as waku, where its form has been altered to fit Japanese phonological and morphological patterns, making it compatible with the structural constraints of the language. Next is morphological integration. It is the process by which a borrowed word becomes incorporated into the grammatical and morphological system of the recipient language. As a result, the borrowed item begins to behave like a native word and follows the language's rules of inflection and word formation. In other words, the foreign word is absorbed into the morphological structure of the receiving language and participates in native grammatical patterns. It is important to note that morphological integration is not itself a word formation process. Rather, it is a structural phenomenon or mechanism that enables borrowed words to function within existing morphological processes such as derivation, inflection, and compounding. The characteristics of this aspect are: it refers as an ability of borrowed words to behave like native lexical items within the recipient language and take native inflectional affixes, participate in native word formation processes, and function grammatically according to the rules of the language. Let's take an example. The English loanword computer is used in Urdu as, and its plural form is created by attaching the Urdu plural marker, Z. This demonstrates that the borrowed word has become integrated into the Urdu morphological system and is treated grammatically like a native Urdu noun. Now let's take a look at this table. This table shows the difference between the two structural aspects. Morphological adaptation refers to the process in which a borrowed word is modified. It mainly focuses on adjustment, meaning the word is changed in form to fit the sound and structure of the recipient language. This process usually happens during the borrowing stage and it may be partial, meaning the word is not fully integrated yet. A common example is when Urdu adds its plural markers to newly borrowed English words. On the contrary, morphological integration refers to the result after a borrowed word becomes part of the language system. It focuses on incorporation, meaning the word is fully accepted into the morphological system of the language. It is usually observed after adaptation has already taken place. At this stage, the borrowed word behaves like a native word, for example, when it regularly takes Urdu grammatical patterns just like native nouns. Let's take a look at this table. It categorizes each of these structural aspects. Morphological adaptation refers to the adjustment of a borrowed word at a surface level so that its form conforms to the phonological and morphological patterns of the recipient language. Such adjustments may involve changes in pronunciation, syllable structure, or word shape to satisfy language-specific constraints. Whereas morphological integration refers to the incorporation of a borrowed word into the grammatical system of the recipient language, allowing it to participate in native morphological processes such as inflection, derivation, and the marking of grammatical categories like number, gender, and case. These changes are taking place at the structural level. Now let's discuss the similar ties between the two structural aspects. Both of these structural aspects are commonly observed in the treatment of loanwords. These two structural aspects adjust the borrowed words to fit the recipient language's morphology, phonology, grammar, and even sociolinguistic norms. Since morphological adaptation involves modifying borrowed words to fit the language's rules rather than creating new words, and morphological integration focuses on how morphemes fit together within existing structures, they are considered non-productive. They don't inherently lead to the generation of new morphemes or word forms. They don't generate new words in the same way like other word formation processes do. These two are also considered non-transformational because morphological adaptation involves adjusting borrowed words to conform to the borrowing language's morphology without creating entirely new forms. Similarly, morphological integration is about ensuring that morphemes fit together correctly rather than transforming them into something fundamentally different. That's why they are treated as non-transformational, because they focus on adjusting existing forms to fit grammatical and phonological rules, without fundamentally altering their meaning or structure in a way that results in new words. These both morphological adaptation and morphological integration can be seen as non-rule governed, because they can involve variability, speaker creativity, and contextual factors that influence how words are adapted or morphemes are integrated. However, there are some underlying principles and tendencies that guide these structural aspects, making them somewhat structured internally. They are not entirely devoid of rules. Rather, they operate within a framework that allows for variation and adaptation while still adhering to certain linguistic norms. Now presents the scholarly distinction of the two aspects. Morphological adaptation and morphological integration are widely distinguished in language contact research, where adaptation is viewed as the process and integration as the outcome of loanword incorporation. Morphological adaptation refers to the way a borrowed word is adjusted to fit the phonological and morphological rules of the recipient language. In contrast, morphological integration refers to the degree to which the borrowed word becomes part of the recipient language's morphological system. For example, English loanword in Urdu is mobile. An expression like mobile ka cover explains how forms such are reshaped according to Urdu morphological patterns. And pluralized expression mobilian makes it evidence when speakers treat it as a regular native noun. Thus, while the application of Urdu morphological rules represents adaptation, the full acceptance of the word as a native-like item reflects integration. Morphological adaptation and morphological integration are often distinguished in contact linguistics through a simple conceptual formula, where morphological adaptation is understood as the process and morphological integration as the result. This distinction is widely used in studies of loanwords, borrowing, and language contact to describe different degrees and stages of lexical incorporation. Simple. That's all for today's lecture. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for the next lecture. If you have any questions, feel free to write them in the comment section. I'd be happy to answer them. Your feedback really matters to us, so let us know whether these lectures are helpful and how we can make them even better. Your room to learn is just a click away. Like and subscribe today.